Welcome to WROL Broadcast. I am Hate Mail, and with me today we have a special guest, Witty Amazon from Atlantis After Dark.
Hello, what's going on?
And we've been wanting to get her on the show for a while. She's obviously, I would guess you would assume, an Amazon fan. Is that correct, Witty?
Absolutely. She's my one of my favorite characters. I'm gonna say my favorite, but yeah, I'm a really I've been a DC fan since I was a kid, so I'm a big Flash fan also, and Supes fan, but Wonder Woman is my favorite character. You can say that.
And what got you into DC Legends? Just, obviously, since you've been a DC fan since you were a kid, I'm sure it's easy to figure out, but how long have you been playing?
On and off, I started late 2019, but on a serious note, on a consistent note, since January 2020, that's when I started to play like consistently and joined a serious alliance with real goals, and that's what got me rolling. And I haven't stopped ever since.
Well, glad to have you. And also, I know, like myself, you are a fan of the Sisters, Starfire and Blackfire.
Absolutely, and let me say, they do not disappoint. It's been an amazing rework for Starfire, and Blackfire is also a very good character. They're both solid, and I know everybody's gonna love them.
Yeah, I'm really happy with them. So why don't we start with Blackfire? How high have you taken her so far?
I bought off shards to L2. I've been playing with her today at L1, just some preliminary testing, and I've got to say, even at a very low, gear and levels, she's actually amazing. I took her today to gear 11 and just L1, and she just nukes reds like crazy. I mean, she doesn't take too much to ramp. I like her because she's quite tanky and she can sustain a lot of hits. And obviously she needs to do that so she can ramp up. But she doesn't take too long to do so. I mean, one hit and she immediately gets those empowered strength ups. And the next time you hit, those reds are gone, baby. And that is amazing.
Yeah, I really, really like her. They did a great job. I wouldn't say she's an S tier character or anything. I took her all the way to RB4. She'll be RB5 by the end of raids. She hits really hard. Starfire does more damage overall, I would say, most of the time, except for there are some rare occasions because there aren't too many special damage reds. So I would say Blackfire is much better against Artemis than Starfire is. But I think as we get more special damage reds down the line, and then also just special damage characters, she does more damage too, so that's useful. But what I really like her the most is against Azrael. She does so well against him.
Exactly. She completely melts him down. It's amazing.
And I would
I've been
never
pairing her up with Barda, hiding her behind Barda so she can get hits by AoEs, and once she ramps up, the enemy Azrael goes down like fast. One move, he's gone.
And I really like her stun against Azrael, which I wouldn't have expected that move to be that useful, but he does.
It's super useful. Unlike what you said in the last AD episode, I think the first legendary point should be the first one because that stun really comes in handy. That's the first point I took.
I actually think I'd go with her 3 first, personally. That buff immunity is so useful.
If it was like apply debuff immunity in the main target, I don't know, I would feel more sure about it, but that stun really comes in handy, so that's the first point I took. I think it really comes in handy.
I took her L2 when I got her, so I took both the buff and that, but because there's Barda on so many teams now, that buff immunity is so useful against her. So
she's everywhere.
I do think L2 is her sweet spot. You don't have to take her any higher.
I think it's enough. And while you say she's not an S tier character, obviously she doesn't need to be because she's really solid, and you don't have to take her really high to see, to reap the rewards. At L1, she's nuking the other team. She's leaving the physical tunes completely nuked, and the energy ones are on life support. So I think even at L2, she's already amazing. So she doesn't need to get higher up like you have her out before, obviously. And in one move, I'm sure you can wipe out, you know, 35k point teams. You can easily nuke them
Yeah,
one move.
she
So
does have to have a little bit of ramping. I think that's the only reason she's not S tier, which obviously not
yeah,
every character needs to be S tier. I'd say she's a
I
solid A
agree
character,
completely.
but she can take so many hits. And the nice thing is once you get her to L5 and you have her 5 where she gains the shield, so she'll get hit with those, gain her strength ups, gain a shield, and
Oh, I kind of wasn't sure about that shield legendary point, because doesn't it make you vulnerable to the enemy Blackfire?
it does, but at
Stuns
least
and
right
everything.
now I'm not facing any enemy Blackfires, so that makes it pretty easy.
Yeah, I was just saying in theory because I haven't fought one yet. I've been just playing with mine today. But I thought that was a bit of an oxymoron because if you're facing the enemy Blackfire, you're gonna get stunned, you're gonna get hit.
As much as I like her, and I think we'll see her on other teams, people are still going to run their Arcus and Azrael and Black Flash.
Yeah, the Martian Manhunter Black Flash is hard to give on up, but I'm sure people, real committed players will see that, that's boring, that's so last century, so let's try and use different characters. That's what I'm trying to do.
After her 3 and her 1, which I think are definitely her 2 best abilities, what would you go next? I lean towards her 2 to purge all the debuffs from the main target because I find I use that skill more than I thought I would. But I'm curious your thoughts.
Yeah, I went 1, 3, 2, and then 4, 5 because I think that 15% shield should go last. I think her purge move is awesome, and that those heals really come in handy. So I would go 1, 3, 2. I know you went 3, 1, 2, right?
I went 3, 1, 2, 5, 4.
And
The only reason I took the
5, 4.
4 is the reason I went with the 4 last is because it doesn't seem like even with everything I ever get to use her 3 more than once.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. You're at RB5. I'm sure you're gonna hit just use that move once, and the enemy team will be dead. So kind of makes sense.
And then you also need the enemy to use a shield, and then a lot of times the enemy, some teams they don't cast shields at all, so I just I didn't find that as useful as gaining the shields on her 5. Because a lot of times, in most matches, I'll run her, Black Flash opens with his 3, Barda, sometimes stands there and does nothing, or she taunts, but Blackfire gains her 15% shield and her 4 empowered strength ups, and then now I can use her 3 and obliterate everything.
Yeah, that makes sense. I was also thinking about that, that part about enemy Blackfire being vulnerable to an enemy Blackfire. So I took the 5. I would take the 5 last. But as Biff would say, my favorite legendary order would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I'm hoping to take all of them.
It actually wouldn't be a bad legendary order for her, so that would be okay.
That's my plan anyway. So
She's great character. I don't think
she's solid. She won't disappoint anyone. Not every character will be S tier, so might as well cash in on those shards and enjoy the character as she is.
And if you're in the States, you can get some gems on Olay right now, so, get that Blackfire shards. So let's move on to Starfire, who is she's pretty ridiculous now. What are your just overall thoughts on her?
She's amazing. As similar to Blackfire, her AOE is just amazing. And as you said, it's hard to find intelligence-based characters, but I think she's doing pretty good. Her stun on her second move comes pretty handy, and the can't miss for me it's what entices both of them because they're both very useful, but I would pick Starfire over Blackfire just because of that move, that can't miss.
Yeah, I think Starfire's slightly better character. If you had to pick between the two, I'd invest in Starfire. The only negatives to Starfire when you're trying to choose which one to use is that Starfire is a little squishier than Blackfire is, and she
Yeah.
has no moves that you, she has no moves that don't hit
No
the enemy.
heals.
So you have to hit the enemy with her, and sometimes you just don't want to do that. And then also she buffs on her basic, so that can sometimes
Uh-huh.
empower Darkseid. So occasionally I would use Blackfire over her, but overall, at RB3, which I've had her at for quite some time, when I'm playing Siege, I don't even need any intelligence ups, and I can usually nuke all reds and even some greens on on her AOE with no buffs.
Yeah, she's ridiculous. She's been amazing. Even for Siege, she's been, so fantastic. I think they're similar in a lot of things with quite, those tiny little bit differences. One being intelligence based, the other one being strength based. But I think they really captured the essence between the two sisters in the game.
Yeah, they
I
made them
think they did a
different
pretty good
enough
job with that.
that you feel like they're different enough characters. I like running them on the same team. I think they pair well together. Um, the only thing missing is if Blackfire had a heal, then she could do something for Starfire. But she does have the call assist, which is really nice. So, and
Oh,
then
it's amazing.
so it's they did a really good job. They're just really good characters. They're really fun characters. Um, the only thing I think Starfire is really missing is a better skin because I really don't like either one of her skins that much. They need
I
to
don't
give
like
her.
the shorts. I don't like the shorts, but raids are coming, so
Yeah, come on.
TikTok.
Give us a good skin for Starfire so we can make a few
It was something
corrections.
good. It's been a great month overall, so that would be a pretty good finish.
Yeah, I've had a lot of fun with this month. Really enjoyed it. Starfire has been both a blessing and a curse for me because I was in contention for World Finest with M4 and them, and then I got greedy on a match and was facing Burger, and Burger Starfire nuked my team. And
It happens to the best of us.
it's just I decided to go one too many bonus tunes, and yeah, Starfire just ugh. So, but M4 and Team OVS, which is almost deaf, he's having a heck of a siege. So,
Yeah, he's an amazing player.
and
I don't know. You can win them all. You can win them all.
or or only one. But see,
Only one.
yeah, we still have some time. We still have some time in siege. I'm hoping my Blackfire
Yeah,
nukes somebody.
it's not over just yet. I was actually trying a bit harder this time because I really like the character. My goal was top 250, like I said before, but I'm actually hanging on to top 100, so hopefully I can stay there for the first time.
You got
I'm
this.
hanging at around 80th spot,
Yeah, 'cause
more or less. I got cocky once and I lost a match so far because I went in with the wrong team and maybe 3 to 4 tunes so far. Other than that, it's been a breeze. Hopefully I can hang in there.
and I know they've created a lot of characters that are supposed to be anti-Black Flash, but it's still Black Flash is like on 9 of 10 teams. I really hope they do something to kind of shake it up a little.
He's everywhere, but until they can, release a character that's exactly the opposite of him, I don't think we can do much because they've reworked Harley and Barda, and he's still everywhere. So
Yeah, it's
that wasn't the answer.
it's just very surprising to me that he's like his best counter is himself. So it's kind of, I don't think he's a problem. I just think he's makes things a little boring.
Release Godspeed.
Yeah, they need to
Instead
do
of turn
something.
meter down, he would give you turn meter up.
Yeah, they need to do something along those lines eventually.
I know we're all kind of bored of speed turbines now, so that would also not be the answer.
Yeah, I'm really not sure where it goes from. I do like they've done a good job with this month. The last month was kind of boring. The month before was okay.
Very.
So I'm not sure exactly where they're going to go from there. What do you think of? We'll touch on him briefly since I didn't do an episode on him. What do you think of Jericho?
I haven't invested a lot in him. I really like his third move, the one where he stuns and call assists. But other than that, the character doesn't speak to me much. So I
Yeah,
didn't invest much in him.
I'm also a little bored of him. Like, he's okay. He's not a bad character. I kind of, I mean, I like him. I've always been high on stuns, but and normally I think I would be really high on him, especially if Darkseid had never come out. But I don't know. He just really doesn't do much for me. And then the whole taunting thing that can,
Yeah, it's kind of weird. It can be good, but it also can be very bad for you.
yeah,
If you
some,
put the taunt on, let's say Coda, for example, you can be, sabotaging yourself. So what I take from him is honestly his third move. Other than that, I'm really not very impressed with him.
and I also hate when I face him if I forget to bring Terra or Hal Jordan. His silence always seems to hit my Black Flash, and then
Yeah, he goes for Blackfire. I've noticed this in the arena at the Blitz right now. He always hits my Black Flash for some reason. So
if that was intentional, like if he hit the fastest character, that would be really interesting. But
I don't know. I don't know if it's intentional
it's not
because
because I've had matches where it doesn't hit him. It just seems RNG seems to always be against me. So
yeah, our RNG is kind of similar, I think.
yeah, exactly. So AB
But
never.
overall, I think he's the stinker of the month. The three girls take the podium. I think.
I'm telling you, that's what the world's going to. Just give us a dippy man. So,
No, you've had Dark Side, so
that's true.
let the
We did
girls
get
have the
Dark Side
fun right.
and Blackfire or Black Flash. I guess I don't know. Is Black Flash even a guy? He's just like a corpse, so he could be asexual. Did
That's a discussion for another AD member.
yeah, that sounds like an AAD episode topic.
Very much.
Um, speaking of AAD, is AB he didn't gear or do anything with Blackfire?
I haven't asked, but I think he hasn't so far. I don't know because he doesn't even know who Blackfire is. It
That's a
was like
shame.
so surprised when she came out. I was like, "Don't you know Starfire?" He said, "Yeah." Well, she has a sister, and that's all he knows from her. So I don't really know.
That's a dang shame. Oh, I see you in. Yeah, I see you rank 99. I was just looking for AB to see if he was in there, to see if he had her unlocked.
Hopefully, after this episode, it'll be a little bit more interested.
And our favorite hacker, Knight Ingress, is at rank 58. That guy has been around forever. No matter how many times you
Amazing.
report him, it's
I've never noticed his name before, but this siege I've been hit left and right with those 16k point teams. It's unbelievable how can he beat me with my 35k team? It's impossible. I've nuked him with one AOE, and
it,
that guy is hanging in there in front of me. So it's ridiculous.
he's been around because whenever the months I don't buy, I'll see him. And yeah, same thing. I have a 40k team, 16k team, all bonus. Yeah. No
I
Black
don't mind
Flash.
the full bonus revenges or even the matches, but I think it's ridiculous for those who invest in the game and gear their characters. It's just ridiculous.
Yeah, he's been around for years and years and years. It's crazy. But we beat that topic to death, so it doesn't seem like that's ever going to change, so
Yeah, we should focus on better things.
exactly. Anything else before we wrap this up?
I don't think so. I think this was a really good month, and if everyone has the chance to get some Blackfire shards and Starfire shards, and even Terra, who was for me she was. I know you've been over her, but it was an amazing rework. She went from zero to hero, and be sure you get those three girls shards this month because you're gonna need them later in the game.
Yeah, she's so good. Like, so good.
Superb.
Oh, we didn't
I'm
talk.
gonna make a plea here. I'm gonna make a plea here that you take Artemis out of S tier and bring Terra in her place.
Well, they can both be there. I think Tara will almost certainly make it. Speaking of which, we never talked about Starfire's legendary order before we wrap this up. She is, and I don't know about you, but I think her one has to be first. Getting
Absolutely.
the can't miss on it.
Yeah, her stellar move. That's my favorite move. So I would say that should be the first. That can't miss is amazingly useful.
And then her 3, the can't miss if 5 and ups, is
Yeah,
what I would go in
so she
next.
can ramp up.
I think those are the two.
Exactly.
Um,
That's really all you need for her kit to work. Everything else is a bonus.
I definitely like her 3. I don't think you have to have it, or her 2, I mean. But I do think it's extremely useful because that 50% chance to stun is, I mean, it's
It's
only
still
half the
very
time.
useful.
Still, yeah, very useful, exactly. So if you can get to L3, I feel like that's really where you want, but you don't. L2 is ideal, L3 or L2 is what you really want, and then L3 is ideal, and then everything else is gravy.
Exactly. Everything else is just bonus. L2 is more than enough, and that's what's amazing for both these sisters. Just L2 for both of them is more than enough, and no one will be disappointed.
All right, well, we will go ahead and wrap it up there. If you want to check out more Witty Amazon, be sure to check out Atlantis After Dark. They have YouTube and all kinds of stuff. I'll actually put the link in the show notes. And with that, thanks for coming on, Witty. We really appreciate you making it on. Hopefully we have you on again in the future.
Hopefully, I've had a great time, and thanks for having me on.
All right, thanks, Witty.
Hi, this is Target 88, and thanks for listening to WROL Broadcast. If you like the show, then please consider becoming a patron by going to patreon.com/WROL Broadcast. You know, Lute, I've heard you become such a big whale that even Greenpeace has offered you protection.